Hi, folks. This is Richard Ricky Garcia. And as part of our effort for the Skywriters Making a Difference campaign, I thought it would be fun to reminisce, record, and share stories from our drum corps days. I'm joined by Caroline Redmond Medlin, who marched Skywriters 1992 and 1993. Tell us, Caroline, about your angriest day on tour.
Okay, so this is a hard day to get through. It was Bristol, Rhode Island, 1992, 4th of July. And the plan for the day was we were supposed to go to two parades, one parade and then a quick bite and another parade back to back and a show that night. And it should have been a wonderful day. It should have been a fun day. And we wake up and it's snowing. Yes, it was snowing on the 4th of July in Bristol, Rhode Island. So there's all this discussion about, well, what are we going to do now? Well, of course, the drum corps has long sleeve, loose jackets and long pants with plenty of room to wear sweatpants and sweatshirts underneath and gloves, and they'll be fine. But that was the year we did Brigadoon. So the color guard is wearing thin cotton, short sleeved, little red dresses, as they described it, and sandals is our uniform. So we're going around and the staff is frantically discussing, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's freezing, it's snowing. And we said, well, can we all wear our corps jackets over our dresses? Well, we could have, yes, but not everybody had one. Well, could we borrow one from somebody? Yes, maybe. But that wouldn't have helped much because our corps jackets then were a thin cotton material. They weren't lined, they weren't puffy. We were Texas Corps. We didn't have big, thick winter jackets. We had thin little, basically a windbreaker, but they were cotton. They weren't even nylon. So they weren't even waterproof. So they said, well, that's not going to work. And even if we wore jackets, what are we going to put on our feet? The uniform, we're wearing sandals. They were like gladiator sandals, completely open toed, just a little flat piece of cardboard almost under your foot with crisscrossing straps all the way up your leg. And we said, well, you can't march in that through snow. That's going to be awful. And we have a show tonight. So it was determined that the rest of the drum corps would go off and do the parade without the guard, and the guard would stay back and rehearse. And then the underlying tone was that we had to stay and rehearse because we had gotten a low score at the last show, and
Oh,
it was probably the guard's fault.
oh,
So we needed the extra rehearsal. And I love parades. Some people hate parades, they'd be happy to get out of it. I absolutely love parades. I love parades so much. I am a band mom and I volunteered to march the Boston St. Patrick's Day parade behind my son's band. And then they said they might go to Ireland and march the Ireland St. Patrick's Day parade. And I said, sign me up. I want to be a chaperone. There's nothing cooler than marching in a parade, especially in Ireland. And we go back to the gym, and some of the people are saying, well, it's fine. Parades are awful anyway, and your feet hurt and your arm hurt. And I was all upset and out of sorts because I absolutely love parades. So this was all day long. The staff were angry. They played us some of the judges' tapes from the previous show about all the things that the guard had done wrong and all the things that were hurting our score. And it was a brutal, relentless rehearsal. And they were just angry all day long. And we were going through the show parts that were wrong just over and over and over again. And I was crying hot, angry tears through the whole entire rehearsal. And it was felt so unfair, especially when the drum corps came back and told us they got pizza and they got full-size chocolate bars. And
wow.
it was the worst day. It was the absolute worst day on tour. And I don't even know what the results of that were. I don't know if the guard score went up or if the rehearsal helped or if we were so angry that we just did worse anyway. Because I wasn't the only angry one. So all the staff got a verbal bad mouthing from the rest of us as soon as we could get away from them. But one of my best friends brought me back a patch that says, Bristol, Rhode Island, 4th of July parade. So I got the patch for being in the town, even though we weren't able to be in the parade.
I
Oh,
think, the first thing that blew me away was that it snowed on a July 4th on
yeah.
tour.
Can you imagine?
The answer is I cannot imagine, because my first year in drum corps, they said, prepare yourself, it's going to be really, really hot.
Mhm.
And so you don't, like you said, nobody prepares for that.
Right. We didn't bring warm clothes. We
Exactly.
had our thin cotton jackets, our shorts and our t-shirts and our tank tops. And, a few people had maybe a pair of sweatpants or, I don't even think leggings were really common back then. So maybe we had tights, but yeah, we had nothing to wear for warm weather. And, being a Texas kid, I'd never seen snow maybe two times in my whole life, much less on the 4th of July.
Me too. Me too. I'm a Texas kid, and I've touched snow less than 5 times in my entire life. And then to add insult to injury, the forced rehearsal away from the rest of the corps. Yeah, that's a tough
Yeah.
day. That is definitely a
Yeah,
tough
it
day.
was the implication that the low scores were all our fault.
Oh
So we
boy.
had to rehearse while they got to go perform and have a good day.
That is a tough day, and you clearly were being tested. Wow. Thanks a lot, Caroline.
Thanks.